So why are Zillow agents and Zillow teams potentially the biggest losers out of NAR's updated clear cooperation policy? Well, simply put, we can now have a listing opt out of showing up on a home search portal for a set period of time. So let me give you an example. If a listing hits the market, we could say for 4 days, that listing is not going to show up on Zillow.com. By the time the Zillow customer potentially sees it, it could be pending by then. And also, you're going to miss out on that big frenzy, that big rush of activity you get when a listing is brand new. As we all know, most of the leads generated on a listing are when the listing is brand new. That's when interest is the highest. So, it could be potentially a pretty catastrophic change for teams and agents that really rely on paid lead gen, which is why we need to get a shift back to basics here and do our own lead gen. We need to get back to direct mail and cold calling, doing our own marketing like pay-per-click, Google optimization, search engine optimization, commonly known as SEO. We need to learn these new skills. We need to utilize AI, because the cheat code of being able to just buy leads and distribute them, or if you're like a Zillow Flex team, pay on a referral basis, that ship may have sailed at this point, especially if this rule really takes off. Back in the day when Zillow first really became a known platform, the running joke was by the time you saw it on Zillow, it was pending. And I'm not even going to get started on those estimates. So, that could be coming back at some level. And if you're buying zip codes or you're paying a huge chunk of money to them, and the value of the lead diminishes or the lead flow diminishes, or by the time the lead sees the property, it's pending, because most of the leads that, for instance, come through on Zillow like to do all their searches on Zillow, and they stay within within that ecosystem. So they potentially may be excluded from seeing a ton of stuff unless you're able to capture them and move them off of the Zillow platform, which, as we all know, is kind of tough to do. So it's back to basics time. That's why we've constantly trained on these topics, and we'll never stop training on these topics, because you never know when a certain skill set shoots up in value. So that's why I think Zillow teams and Zillow agents may be the biggest losers of this recent change.